Spiral, 2 Jews, 2 mics, 2 hours, starting now.
Oh, by the way, I have a correction from last week's show.
Okay.
And I think it makes a difference.
All right.
It's not Perry Como. It's Paul Anka. It's Paul Anka, who was a popular singer.
Well, both were. Both were.
Yeah, but Perry Como is more unconscious.
Yes.
I think. I mean, I was listening to this Paul Anka go, almost good for a second. You know, I forget the song. There were a couple of hits.
There's a lot of hits for Paul.
But Perry Como, I don't know if I'm affected by the impression of him from SCTV or whatever, but I don't even remember any of his music.
Right.
But was he more like Dean Martin?
Yeah, I mean, I think, but less.
I want you to.
But Paul Anka is super rich.
Oh yeah, because how did he get super rich? Commercials?
Well, no, he wrote My Way. He wrote My Way.
Oh,
and he wrote the Tonight Show theme.
Okay, so here's the thing with Paul Anka. I think there's a mixed bag. Tonight Show theme is good.
Yeah.
My Way might be the worst thing ever written. That's just the worst song.
It's a mawkish piece of shit. It really is. Yeah.
You know, here's the thing about it. Ba-bing, ba-bang, ba-bing, ba-bang. It gives you the impression that life is just some crazy roller coaster of fun, and you're riding high in April and you're shut, but you know what? You'll be right back on top, right back up top, right back on top, and June. And he should have hated that song. I think he did, didn't he?
Who?
I call him FS.
Yeah, I don't think he hated it. I think he made a lot of money from it.
He had to have hated that. What was wrong with him?
I think he kept doing it and
yeah, he did. But I heard he also didn't like. New York, is what I heard.
Maybe.
Where did I hear that?
Maybe.
From?
You know what big gap I didn't know? I was watching a sort of Rat Pack doc.
Is that one of those? What was that? One cable channel that had the worst docs all the time. I can't think. Well,
now it's Amazon Prime, but it's not. But I know what you're talking about. That had really horrible. I didn't know that Frank Sinatra owned the Sands during the time of the Rat Pack.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, good.
I didn't. All I ever heard of was Cal Neva. Come over to the judge, Cal Neva.
Yeah, and he had to sell out his casino stuff because they caught him hanging out with Sam Giancana at Cal Neva.
But just hanging out though, that's the thing.
Well, he was on the government the no-go list. Of people who could not be in the casinos.
Well, Frank couldn't be?
No, Sam Giancana couldn't be, but because Frank was associating with Giancana, he had to give up his the gambling license.
Yeah, and the thing about it is that can you imagine how uncomfortable it was to be Don Rickles when this is going on? Because you're his best favorite comedian, but it could turn at any point. He does one night, he goes, "Hey, Frank, easy. I have a cousin in New Jersey I haven't seen." And you're going to call, "Hey, Frank, I just talked to Saba Shapichi. He said no go on the hoo-hoo." And Frank's going, but it could turn. That's what I'm saying. It could turn.
But, I mean, Rickles' entire career wasn't predicated on his friendship with Sinatra. It was enhanced by it.
He had told some story about some story where Frank's throwing stuff around the hotel room and Mrs. and Barbara's there.
Yeah.
Barbara, Don's wife.
Rickles.
Yeah, and he seems very upset. And the other one I loved was when Frank Sinatra was really drunk, and he thought thunder and lightning were photographers trying to. And he told the Don Rickles, "Get out there, tell us I have a picture." Well, he doesn't talk like that. Get out there and tell him I'm not talking to him. He just, for every crack of the, But in Frank Sinatra's defense, they often were people taking pictures of him, and he was very, very. These guys were all very drunk. This was the time period where you woke up in the morning and you were drunk. They
never woke up in the morning. They went to bed in the morning.
Well, I remember being a kid and thinking the funniest thing I'd ever heard was Peter Lawford say, maybe it was him, the late, great Marilyn Monroe. Do you get it? She's late for the things. Later, they would not kill her. I'm not saying they killed her, but I'm saying that they didn't treat her well. for sure.
Yeah.
For absolutely sure. And I only know it from Norma Jean. Goodbye, Norma Jean, though I never knew you at all. How much can I sing before we have to pay? You had the strength to hold yourself.
I feel like I'm paying right now.
Can you give me a little bit of Buffy St. Marie? I know you can do it. I can't do it. I want to hear a little bit. Elvis does it all the time.
I don't have a Buffy St. Marie at my fingertips now.
No, but you do have an Elvis vibrato, don't you? Give me a little Elvis vibrato. Here's the vibrato.
Give me a song.
Okay, Imperial Bedroom.
Oh, Elvis Costello. No. I thought you were Elvis Presley vibrato.
No, what a mistake. And here's his Allison. Okay, Allison.
Allison, I know this world is killing you. Oh, Allison, my aim is true.
Yeah, but I don't think that's a song where he's a couple songs where he really does like a slow, like he has a vibrato plugged into his Fender amp. I'll have to send it to you.
Okay,
and yeah, okay, I can't wait. Hey, can you wait? I can't wait. Oh my God! And you sound like you've been smoking, but I know you haven't. You just have a little scratchy throat. That's all there is. So I'm actually getting into your head now. I'm making you think there was something wrong with the impression, and maybe you don't do Elvis Costello well, and maybe you should have it checked out.
Yeah.
What is that look? I have never seen that total flat. It's like a flat pancake of rejection.
Okay. I'll have to catalog that one.
Oh,
that's useful with you.
Yeah, see, every once in a while I say something that's relevant to the show, and you can't
throws me like a mechanical bull.
And the other way I do it is this: I did hear what you said. Throws you like a mechanical bull. I can also do that
because it means you didn't really.
Because it means you didn't really when you say it like that.
Right? No, it means you heard it, but you didn't hear.
Right. So why would your reaction to somebody be? Oh, I heard what you said. Oh, you'd like to see the show be funnier. I heard what you said. I'm hearing everything you say. I'm not listening.
Right.
I can just bark it back to you.
Yes, you can.
What a day. You know, this is our only day. It's either sink or swim today, baby. It's either come up with an hour and a half. It doesn't have to be an hour and a half.
No,
please, why do you belabor it?
Please release yourself from any preconceived notions of what you must achieve here.
You remember the old days, you go, I'm going to do an impression of you that isn't you. So you ready?
I'm excited.
I'll call you every day, and we'll have Monday through Friday check-ins. And you forgot to make the hang-up sound. Now I don't know if that's me or that's you, but it's some kind of.
I don't know what that is really.
Andy, when you get to your gig,
I was just trying to make
anything.
I was trying to make epidemic aid at the time, pandemic aid.
I haven't heard people say epidemic for a while. You know,
no, because we went right to pandemic.
Yeah. Oh, is that why? Okay.
Yeah.
But there was for a time period, epidemic was really
epidemic.
Oh, the epidemic turns into a pandemic.
Yes.
And David Letterman thought it was hilarious.
An epidemic is endemic to a pandemic.
Boop, 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 ding, bang. Oh, I have more coffee. Okay, I'm going to have to only go buy in this coffee. But Dave used to joke, because this is how much we didn't have tragedies in our lives, except for 9/11 and everything else. He said there's a pandemic, and you know what happens in the pandemic? You have to sterilize your pans. You know, you get like a brief little laugh, but nobody was like, what's he even fucking talking about? And he would do that joke for years. And I didn't get scared when I love him. I'm not saying.
I don't even remember who we're talking about.
David Letterman would say,
okay.
You know what, Paul? No, that's Paul. A pandemic, you know, Paul, it means you must heat up all your pans. Something like that. I'm not Letterman. I'm just reporting. Will you stop putting this guy up there?
Is it just me nods does it? Is
yes.
Nodding do it? Okay. Nodding gives you a thumbs up. That's good to know.
I love what you're doing. I don't agree with it.
Does this do anything?
Nothing, because
how about this?
Google? Well, you know what that face is. You know what that is, right?
What?
That is the classic thing that I've been trying to get Susan to shoot with me. You know, because she's the greatest photographer in the world. To shoot with me, but to capture this. I can't help it. I'm funny. That guy.
Yeah.
I can't help it. Where you can see, it's not like what you're doing is making fun of it. What I'm doing is I have the whole fucking comedy world in my hands, baby. You want a piece? Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, baby. So I got the comedy world. Is that a song? Because or is it like those Happy Birthday women who glommed onto some stupid chant? Anyway, I digress. How about people who do say, I would never be someone who says, I digress, because I don't know what the fuck I'm saying, right? But I digress. No, you're not. You're going in, you're going out, you're having problems with cognitive ability.
Yeah, you go with, what was I saying? Instead, but I
What was I saying?
Yes.
Yeah, and it's so terrible. And where do you see me on stage?
Phone a friend, you say? It's really cute.
Oh, I had good gigs, by the way. Good gigs.
Oh, good.
Gigs.
That's good. You know what they say?
Yes,
good gigs mean good gigs.
That's right. Well, the thing is, no. I mean, we're and here's the thing, and I'm being honest with you. I don't recall ever doing really well at a benefit ever, really well. You know, like some people get up there and they go, "Hey, what's the benefit about?" So I was doing an autism benefit.
Yeah.
But I was getting solid laughs from the people who enjoyed it, and probably doing better than I thought, and was totally comfortable in the pocket of. Andy Daly's here. It was his school where he sends his kid for autism. Andy Daly's there. He's laughing. That's all I needed was him laughing. All of a sudden, I'm a big star now. Big star. And I got a bottle of wine. I mean, I'm just saying, I'm being stupid, but I'm just saying, I got it's not that I lost my confidence, but took a couple of weeks to get and it means, you were saying that's surprising because you have such a great sense of memory. You don't smoke pot. You really do a lot to keep up. You bought not Bill Bradley. You bought Dave DeBuscher's memory book. Is that him?
I don't think so.
No, Jerry. Who's Jerry?
This is a good bit. Trying to remember the guy who did the memory book.
His first name was Jerry. He was very, very good. And he had a whole thing with memory. So, for example, you say something. Something. Some, shoes, thing, foot.
Yeah.
That's not how we did it, though. It's not Dave DeBuscher. It's Jerry. Someone tell me, is there anyone on the line now who could tell me who did the memory program? You could look it up, but that's not the way to go.
Well, let's ask Alex. Will you do that? Our producer, Alex, will you look that up?
Absolutely, guys. You know what was amazing when we first started?
Don't do that. Don't.
I ruined it?
We're on such thin ice with Alex as it is.
Oh, what happened?
No, I'm kidding.
Oh, God. Good. I haven't spoken to him in 7 years. I hope there's nothing wrong between us. I love Alex Brazell. I am Alex Brazell. I still find it impressive what Lloyd Benson said to
Dan Quayle.
Dan Quayle. I knew John F. Kennedy, sir. You are no John F. Kennedy.
He said Jack.
Okay.
If you're going to quote people.
If you're going to insult me every time I come up with a thing, and then I'm the bad guy.
Once again, you don't know Jack.
You don't know. Oh, I had another joke that I was going to pitch you, and then I was thinking you go, stop pitching me things. And then I don't know, I remember the joke now. But I think it's very funny when I come up with things. This is what's terrible about me.
Well, we know it works for autistic people.
NG, baby. NG, I'm taking it out. I'm taking that right out. Oh, Josh.
What was the joke? What was the joke you wanted to pitch me?
Well, I can't find it now. I was actually going to text it to you. Which is the worst.
That's the best.
You wouldn't have liked that, would you have?
I wouldn't mind it, because then you don't have to hear me not laughing.
Ow! Here's my image of what I think you're going to respond, because of my own insecurities, right? My own insecurities, like, well, this is what I think who you're going to respond to every time. Well, you kind of are around you got very close to a joke there, Mr. Kindler, but your setup in the premise included some very, very, very dicey information, and therefore there was no laugh on the punchline. Okay, I didn't do a good thing there.
Right, but that's you started that as being about your insecurities, but it kind of made me sound like a dick.
No, it doesn't. Because it doesn't. Yes, there is. Look, someone could argue. Here's a guy never happy when he sees any documentary. Ooh, I guess every fucking documentary isn't good except the ones he did.
No, I'm not including mine in the good ones either. Don't worry.
Well, you're right. What do you think it is? Is it? Here's what my theory is: Amazon Prime low ball. That's why they're documentaries aren't as good because they lowball.
Yes.
They lowball everybody.
Tell me
right?
about it. Yes.
Whose graph? They bought yours, right?
They have one of mine. Yeah.
Who is Graphicus Veritas? Who is Graph? You know, it's like one of those things when you get in the plane, you get Terry, what's his name? Semmel, not Terry Semmel, but something on the plane. All of a sudden, Terry Steiner has somehow produced every movie you've seen on a plane. But it's not. He's producing what is he producing?
He's distributing them.
He's distributing. Yeah. Why should he get some play? It makes it feel like it's a production of his, though.
Well, yeah, it's kind of the distributor's prerogative.
Remember that song? You didn't like it as much as me, but I was like, come on, my prerogative. My favorite song ever was Vanilla Ice, who took really a song that wasn't very, very good, right? He took one of the greatest Marvin Gaye songs. Isn't that what he did?
No, he took Pressure. Are you talking about?
Oh, he took Pressure. That's right. Oh, no. It's the no. What did the Young Thick steal? The Young Thick stole Marvin Gaye. That's right. Sorry. And when we really get high.
Yeah, but
no, he did. He had to pay.
He did have to pay, but it's a bull. I still think it was a bull. I still think it was a bullshit thing.
I grew up on look. It never goes well after look. I grew up on Sly and the Family Stone. I grew up with these people. You have to give it up to the people who came up with the thing. As every songwriter knows, I don't include myself in that group. When you're writing songs, you hear when you're getting too close. You do. This is not rocket science.
Well, but the issue wasn't with the issue was literally with the vibe of the record, not the melody or the chord changes.
Yeah, but you can tell they were listening to the.
Well, yeah, but right, but if you can't, but there's plenty of things that are in the area of homage to a certain kind of record.
Look, I don't know if George Harrison heard that song. It just happened to be that the song was exactly like a previous song. In that case, I don't even think he did it on purpose.
It doesn't matter. Really?
Right. But it does sometimes because some people have a sticky thing.
I mean, yes. I mean, if there well, yeah, look at like half of Led Zeppelin's catalog, but...
Yeah, they ripped off like a lot of black people. Isn't that what they did?
Black and white. They weren't that discriminatory.
How about Stairway to Heaven? Please don't tell me that the lyrics were derived from something... Not Stairway to Heaven, though.
Well, no, they were in litigation over Stairway to Heaven. That was one of the ones, too,
right? Yeah. Well, they were terrible. I think they were pretty much, as a group, terrible, terrible people, because I've read books about them. Hammer of the Gods, whatever I read. Yeah. And there are many dead people who are in their wake of those lovers, those two lovers. Who are they? Jimmy Page and the other guy. Jimmy Page, and who's the one that...
Robert Plant? Or John Bonham? Or John Paul Jones?
Well, John Bonham is dead. John Bonham's dead, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I interrupted you, probably.
No, I was just going to say that Peter Grant was a big part of their thuggery, their overall thuggery, because he was a thug.
He really was?
Yeah, absolutely. No, he came up working for the Krays and stuff in England, and so.
I've watched.
So it was so much about how they did business was just being bullies, you know.
Yeah, so very much like Guy Ritchie people.
Right.
You know who does a good... You love Sean Collin? I love Sean Collin. He does such a great... Sean Collin from Canada. He does such a great... You know what I'm going to do to you? I'm going to take you and fold you in half. You know him, don't you? Sean Collin, please. Don't leave me fucking... I'm so tired of it. Hold on a second. I have to take this. He's doing it again. He's fucking looking at me like I'm an idiot. Okay, I'll call you. Who would I be talking to over there?
You simply think if my eyes are open, I'm looking at you like an idiot.
But you see, many people... My therapist would say... Andy, maybe it's something going on with you. I say, it isn't fucking something going on with me. God damn it. It's him. But she keeps saying, I don't know. If you get very upset about something, I think it indicates something else. And I say to her, if you're going to get me upset about something.
Mostly my face is trying to decode sentence fragments and extrapolate what the rest of the sentence would have been.
That's true.
Had you said
normally, yes. But you didn't. I hope you remember that pancake take you took. You made your face very flat and made it look like there's no way possibly knowing what I was talking about.
Oh, that was more.
So, I did tell you, I watched American Rust. I'm not done with it, but I did tell you that I made a mistake. We watched the first.
You did. You went,
okay, and now we're all caught up. All caught up.
Did it feel like it was a flashback now?
No, but it feels like this happens to me every single time I want to talk about something. And here's what I think. This could possibly be it. I'm not good describing things. I can't give an opinion without sounding like a trite, old, not Jew so much, but it's like not so much like ain't it cool, but it's not ain't it cool because he he has a passion for it. But I'll give you an example. Okay, yesterday I was going to tweet this. I didn't do it. I just listened to "Time Passes Slowly" by Bob Dylan, and let me tell you something. I find the syncopated drum, as the syncopated drum comes in after the piano, it's brilliant, and it indicates how the time is passing slowly. That's what I was going to do, and I didn't do it.
That's good
because didn't do it. But people who are critics, there's some people who bring something to the table. You don't think, oh, he's just bragging about the fact that he knows the song. You know what I mean? I can't get past that. I can't get past it affects me, and I enjoy it. But then I'm going to try and tell you why it affected me, and it's just going to be, it was marvelous. His music is marvelous. That kind of thing. Maybe I'm just not cut out to do this kind of work, critical work.
Well, you've shown your hand at the tiny shit that enrages you, so your whole gauge is sort of off for people, I think.
What enraged me? I forgot what enraged me already.
What hasn't?
Oh, come on. I told you.
I'm not talking about in this show. I'm just saying that.
Because I spoke to Allison, and we very clearly said that you were going to lay off me. Could you imagine? I've been talking to Allison, and she agrees, because I talk to her and try to be manipulative and say, he's a problem. He's a fucking problem. Right. Well, how does he go to sleep every night? He listens to NPR for 2 seconds. So you don't spend any quality time with him. Now you're talking to me. I was more, forget about Cody's dreams. He would wake up violently. Josh would wake up violently. And what we had to do, cover him with do we have to cover you with a blanket? Is that what worked before the pre-neutering?
No. That would be counter to what you would want to do.
Oh, you didn't disturb him under the covers. You would let him, instead of getting freaked out, you would try to be relaxed with him being freaked out. Which is, I think, a good dog trainer. A
little more, yeah.
Person.
He still has occasional mongoose episodes.
Okay, so okay, because you can't look. If neutering worked that quickly, I would do it.
It worked a lot,
right?
But it didn't. You can't change someone's essential character.
Now, is that a slam? I don't like backhanded slams against Cody. No, but the degree to which he was very, very upset when he came to you. Is that something that could conceivably, like PTSD, never go away?
Yeah, almost all of it has. His disposition now versus a year ago is radically different.
Right. But you don't say to him, I don't like your attitude.
But he's still a crazy fucking chihuahua. There's just no way around that. That is basic.
I saw
core.
I saw that breed in him when you held him, much like me, next to you as your co-host. You could see that there's a chihuahua coming out.
Oh, there's plenty of chihuahua there, yeah. No, you see him, you go, chihuahua, that's your first thought. He doesn't have the crazy, He doesn't have the crazy bug eyes like a lot of chihuahuas or any, very handsome young dude.
He is
whatever he blended with, it did him well, but it took some of the chihuahua edge off. But deep down, the genetics don't lie.
What's the name of the dog? A chihuahua?
Yes.
What do you call it?
A chihuahua.
It sounds like a charo word that she came up with.
Well, it's really, a Mexican word.
Oh, really,
much
Andy?
like charo.
Really? You're going to stop the show for that, Andy? I was getting very upset before the show because this is what I do. I think in generally I'm pretty much on time. I mean, it's a miracle from where I first was, where I consistently came to your house at 8:04, 8:05, 8:03, 8:04. So I'm mostly on time. But when I'm not on...
It was always within a 3-minute thing. Oh, yeah. And I was always freaking out. Oh, he's 3 minutes late.
Is 8:10 okay? Is 8:15 okay? I'm not saying it's okay. You're not okay, Andy. You're not okay. but just get here whenever the fuck you want. How about that? Something like that.
Something like that.
Those were the days. But now, since I've been in therapy, down from twice a week to once a week. And I'm also going to admit something else to you right now. Me and the wife watched almost the entire Masters and enjoyed it. It calmed us down. We liked it. We loved the guy who won, Scotty Scheffler. We both were we were drunk on the fact that he was not a live golfer. He was a guy who stuck with the PGA.
Yeah, I know how that got under your skin.
Well, I used to, I used to like Phil Mickelson because he was an underdog. I had no idea that he golfed with Condoleezza Rice, and that he's a terrible, terrible human being. But you could tell because, like, why is the taxes so high in California? I'm going to have to move out. Because he had gambling problems, Josh. Gambling problems. He became a right-wing Republican.
You think the gambling made him a Republican? You don't think a life at fucking golf clubs didn't do it?
Yeah, golf clubs, yes. Life like golf clubs. Like, I would occasionally, like, during the thing this weekend, as we'd watch, I would occasionally spoil the whole mood for a second by asking Susan, now, they do or don't let black people into that club now in Augusta?
All right.
Wait, can you? And in my mind, I didn't even know for sure because I remember watching it one year where everyone boycotted them, all the sponsors boycotted them, and they were so fucking rich and white, they were able to broadcast the Masters without any commercials for 3 days.
Right.
So I actually, for a second, did not know if I went there today, there'd be Jewish people, and you'd have look at what would you? And I think they have allowed people in, is my guess. But they no longer say you can't be Jewish or black.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's not an unofficially restricted club any longer.
I mean, your father's old enough to maybe even have experienced some anti-Jewish, maybe not so much in Minnesota, but I mean, Jews couldn't even be lawyers in big firms.
What do you mean not so much in Minnesota?
No, tell me. I'm
no,
stupid.
It was an incredibly racist and segregated city.
Oh, it was racist in general.
Yes, it was.
That's
and it was all German, and it was like German and Norwegian and Swedish, and the Jews were totally zoned into a basic ghetto.
Yeah,
but I don't know what the laws of the professions were, but it was absolutely. The ethos of the city was certainly racist.
Well, my brother was not the first Jewish he was not the first Jewish person who worked at Cravath, Swain, and Moore, but that was an old white shoe firm, whatever they call it, and they absolutely didn't allow Jews.
Right.
And blacks, of course. Blacks, of course. This is an idiot. But so that's interesting to me because
their attempt to keep the Jews out of banking just didn't hold up.
Well, I'm not going to tell the person's name because it's one of these people where I've had bad feelings about him since we are no longer friends. So there's absolutely no reason for me to say who he is because nobody would know who he is. But I can't get this one thing out of him. He was he's very, very smart, very intelligent, very, very smart, very smart man. But a little bit like...
It sounds like me describing you. Very smart. Very, very smart.
But I asked him once, like he knows a lot about history. So I said, Eddie, that's his name. Why did the Jews, I don't even know how we got into this, but why did the Jews so, maybe it was before I knew about this more, because I think it was right after I got out of, after I moved to LA.
You've told me this story before. So.
Oh, why? Because they display so many negative characteristics?
Yes.
Yes. I have the exact wording of it. So to me, I almost felt like it's like if the last person who knew about prejudice is now being told, why do they hate the Jews? Because of the way that they display themselves. They're large. He might as well have said.
See, they're easily offended.
Yeah,
they hold grudges.
They don't have large noses. Oh, that kind of like that old Barry Sobel. Hello? Can you hold on a second? It's something fall.
We'll be back. We'll be back.
It sounds like, I think it's like someone's pipes. What if it's from my bathroom and I didn't go into the bathroom to check? I shouldn't check, should I? No.
If you're going to be thinking about it for the next half hour, you should. And there we go.
We'll be back. We'll be back.
Well, at least I won't be thinking about it for a half hour.
That's all I wanted. That's all I wanted in life.
Well, here's the thing about condos. You never lived in a condo, right?
I've lived in an apartment building. It's pretty similar. Pretty similar.
It's the same. Oh, no, there's a whole set of different rules. They have much thicker walls. No, because sometimes you can hear something that sounds weird. This building was involved in the '94 earthquake. Uh-huh. So, I mean, and it had to be retrofitted. But the actual angle of the door is like underneath the doors is space.
Oh, really?
So sound comes weird. Huh. Sound is weird. And like if I'm in the living room, I can't hear anything Susan's saying in the bedroom.
But
if I'm in the office, it's getting close to that. Don't say anything, but it's getting close to that.
You getting old? No, it's there.
No. The technology has improved. The prices come down. You don't have to go through a doctor any longer.
Absolutely. There's no reason in the world not to get a hearing aid if you think you need one.
What do you mean?
There's no reason in the world.
Well, it's going to be when Susan tells me to do it, and I think it's getting close. Because my father more than my mother had to have he wouldn't even admit how he eventually got hearing aids, but he wouldn't admit that he was turning the TV up too high.
My grandfather had them, but wouldn't wear them.
That's the way my dad kind of was.
And then he'd yell at everybody for whispering. He was a charming dude.
They weren't as good back then, and they also charged. It was ridiculous that they should charge all this money.
Let me see if total scam. Yeah.
I have decided, doctor, nurse, we've decided you are HOH. What is that? Technical term.
Hard of hearing. Yes.
Well, what can I do? Well, that's more complicated. There's a several $1,000 process by which.
How much will that cost? What?
Okay, whatever it is then. Whatever it is. The first one where they really, took off was Miracle Ear. I think you agree. I have no idea. But it's going to happen. And you won't even know it. It'll be so unobtrusive.
I agree. Especially since you probably won't wear it when you're wearing earphones.
Oh, that's true. I do have good pipes. That's not pipes.
That's not a pipe. You can't point to your ear and go, I have good pipes.
I know, I did that on purpose. That was me doing a dumb guy like a Jeff Dunham puppet.
So say something racist now.
The thing is this, you would think by now, and I'm not just saying this because I'm filled with a lot of loathing, but you would think by now he'd be done, Jeff Dunham. By now they go, look, too many things. Look, why are you canceling me? Why are you canceling me? Okay, look at this one. Hey, Habib, the terrorist. Well, what's wrong with that? And then you got the Mexican hot cucaracha. What is he have? Jalapeno.
It's a chili pepper, yeah.
Hey, how you doing? Jalapeno. I'm jalapeno. Why are you talking so funny? I can't do it. I'm a white person's way of jalapeno. Okay, how do they sound? Yeah, I'm asking you to do it.
No, I'm not going to.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
That's a trap.
But I'm old enough to remember the time period where Jeff Dunham had a sitcom on Comedy Central.
Yeah,
and I think in the minds of Comedy Central or somebody, they were going, "We broke through. We broke through." First of all, I don't know. Well, I guess he's a decent ventriloquist, but the best ventriloquist I've already seen him is that guy from Soap. He's already.
You think Jay Johnson's the best?
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's very, very excellent at it.
Yes.
So when you see, Jeff Dunham doesn't look excellent at it. Albert Brooks also did the best.
He was very good at it, yes.
But Jeff Dunham is, again, but I think what you would say is it's a whole separate market. It doesn't even exist. It's like a whole thing that's just
it's his. Yeah, it's a sort of Branson kind of fame. Yep. But it's very lucrative for him. But it's I don't know. It's like I was thinking about this the other day. How there was a time, late 80s, early 90s, where I literally just knew fucking everything that was happening.
I know.
I mean, of course, there was underground music I wasn't hip to and shit like that. But if it was in the mainstream pop culture, I was totally aware of it. And I'm aware of such a tiny slice of it now.
Yes.
Yes. And some of that is me. Some of that is my radar shutting down. And some of that is just, everything is so tribal now. Like the internet has allowed every kind of fandom to go tribal for people.
Right.
So there can be people who are just having a huge career invisibly, from me or from a lot of people.
Well, also the stand-up thing is maybe a result of getting marketing to work for you and being able to appeal to those. But I mean, there's a lot of not a lot of comics, but there are comics making huge money, like Tom,
absolutely,
Tom
Segura.
Tom, yeah, huge money, huge money. So.
Well, and he had the best of all possible sort of combos going on because he had built this giant crowd with his podcast already,
right?
And then he was pretty early to the Netflix special table, so and he's got 5 or 6 of them now. But
is he still rocking it? He must be rocking it,
absolutely.
Right?
He's just doing really, really well.
But I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But it was still a very self-made kind of a thing that he did.
Yeah.
And that's, there was no network TV involved really, aside from the specials. It was really this self-made thing, and an example of how you can build this relationship with an audience.
Yeah.
That is so fucking loyal and so voracious, for what you're doing. But, it'd be easy to not know who Tom Segura was too, Right.
And there are people there's been people like Brian Regan and people, who else was I thinking of? Gaffigan, who is hugely popular and also usually, doing their own thing that happens to, coincide with something.
Right.
But Brian Regan's hilarious. It doesn't really matter how he delivers it. He's not choosing to do it mainstream. He just happens to be very funny consistently,
right? For
a lot of people. It doesn't mean he's less qualitatively funny because he's hilarious.
Yeah, and I think an evening of laughing your ass off is worth a lot of money to people.
Yes.
And so if there's someone who does that for you, consistently and doesn't let you down in a big way ever.
Right.
There's no reason why you're not going to keep going back and seeing them,
Yeah, and I think there's very few people who could do it at that level who are great, like Gaffigan, Regan. How many people can do that?
I mean, more than ever right now, but
right.
And plus, you have the built-in thing of it's your crowd, and it's very much your crowd.
Yeah.
So it's an atmosphere that's ripe for you to kill.
Well, and the thing is, I mean, it used to be in the old days, like, there was a time period, we know this, where being blue was not like being Lenny Bruce, so
right.
I could actually admire someone like Gaffigan who just was basically clean anyway.
Right.
And so he wasn't, and even Brian Regan too, it's just like, it's not like they're trying to, but then I have gone the other side of that now.
I have no problem at all with the decision to work clean at all.
Right.
I have a much bigger problem with that being a point of publicity.
Yeah. Well, especially if it's clean comedy or Christian comedy, then it's just ridiculous.
I told you the maddest I ever got about something that someone wrote in a newspaper about me was that someone erroneously printed that he's now billing his act as clean and clever, and I'm like, fuck you, billing my act as clean and clever.
That?
Someone in Minneapolis.
That's the worst.
It was I was like infuriated.
It's not that one guy in Minneapolis who always writes terrible.
No, it was another asshole guy, I think.
Clean and clever, because that's like, it'd be like, Josh thinks of himself a little bit like he's the professor of comedy, but like if you had that kind of.
Oh my God. I mean, I was 20 something at the time. It wasn't, there was nothing professorial about it, but it was just like.
Just clean and clever was bad enough.
Oh my God. Yuck.
Because it also makes
and
it
totally
like
untrue on both counts.
On both counts. In other words, he was wrong, and it wasn't what you were doing.
Right.
You were already more spicy than that.
Right.
Where sometimes
clever actually made me madder than clean, I think.
This is because you don't laugh at clever.
Exactly.
That's clever. Right. I've been taking some pills that allow me to listen better.
Really?
It's working pretty good.
That's fantastic.
Also, here's the thing. I used to get up. The show's at 10, 8 o'clock. I do 3 gummies. 8:15, 2 more gummies.
Yeah.
9 o'clock, gummies. The other day, I felt I felt good because I gave somebody, a friend of mine, all of my vapes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I it felt good because I it's like getting it out of it. It's getting it out. It's giving up the dream. I even had one that was like a Dye Woods or whatever. So I even tried it. I just don't get high from it. It's just you get a little. And you literally just get a little disoriented. If you're me,
yeah,
others have different reactions to it.
Yeah,
like so, But I find with the vape that you don't get quite as high, so you don't. So now you're just vaping 24 hours a day to try to get that high,
right?
Because there's no smell. That's great.
Yeah, it's good for hotel rooms, but other than that,
great.
I have no use for it.
Right, and I don't know when to stop, and so I keep going, and it's not like fun vaping.
Yeah.
It's 10 more minutes. Am I high enough still? It's still like the best image is the binoc. I need to be high and my breath smell okay.
Oh, I'm not high enough to meet this new person.
Also, I loved how angry you got at me. So good. I have been getting cameos, and now I'm thinking, did I cut my price by mistake, or am I part of some kind of... Because I thought I was charging more than that. They're all like $35 after someone else takes their cut. But I won't raise it over $45 because I figure, why make a big deal out of it?
Yeah.
Why make it $75? At $75, you start getting those people I got in from, hey, Kindler, next time you send me a thing, why don't you make it funny? Hey, Kindler.
You're still under the Cato Kalin line, which is good.
What is that?
I think that's 55.
I can't cameo 55, is what I'm saying. But I don't know. But it seemed like there could be all of a sudden revived interest in my career without me tweeting about it.
Maybe.
I usually
the fact
get tweeted.
that you're engaging in a career again has just cosmically woken up the world.
I guess I was recognized a lot the other evening. I thought people just didn't like
People
me.
saw the lineup for Moon Tower and went, he's alive?
That's what we're hoping. We're banking on a lot of that. Don't sell that short. People thinking I was dead.
Yeah.
Or they thought I was comedically dead.
It's so much better than the alternative, career-wise.
I don't get it. What's the alternative?
I'm just saying, if you were dead, there'd be an explanation for why you are right now.
But also, there could be money. There could be money generated post.
That's right. If Susan sold your likeness.
Right. And that's not all I care about. A lot of people say, were you worried about dying? No. I just want to make sure that everything... I've set up my company to run... I'm running out of energy for that. Oh, my diabetes-related hand pain is very high right now. Owie!
I'm sorry.
You know what's very hard to get?
I've been told it wasn't your diabetes and that I'm an idiot.
No, I willed it to be diabetes. So the whole day after that, whatever would happen, if I would get a pain in my knee, the diabetes.
I have it.
Oh yeah.
He's got it.
Oh, I had something. I was going somewhere fast. Nope. But something to do with my. You can see how it's all schmuckled, right?
Your hand.
Yeah, it's like. Well, I have Heberdean nodes.
The nodes are the first eye puller for me.
My brother has it too, so it's like what? It's kind of like an old freak show.
Yeah.
What's that?
A genetic thing.
Yeah, it's a freak show. The thing. Like
did your parents have it, or did it mercifully skip a generation?
I don't. All I remember is that my dad. I remember my dad had problematic feet, where things were going on.
They hated
and he didn't
black people. They were problematic feet.
He used to say, "Feet, do your stuff." I'd say, "Rob, you're not supposed to do that anymore." Why are you always trying to rope me into some kind of Bill Maher sounding white guy? No, you're not.
I'm not.
But I am starting to get. I think it's kind of getting a little funny that Bill Maher is only going after Fox viewers, and he's only repeated on Fox. If you go on Twitter, the Monday after shows, like all these fascists are like, finally, I didn't think I'd agree with the guy, but finally. And I never, they say it every way. I never agree with that guy because I hate
Bill Maher is saying this now.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. If Bill Maher's joining me in my hate mongering wagon, it's got to be right.
Exactly.
You know, the thing that's amazing is
he's my hatred North Star.
It's amazing to think. Here's the different types of people who respond on Twitter all the time. And God bless them. Here's what they respond. What are you talking about? He's the greatest guy in the world. They haven't heard him in 12 years. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what do you mean, Bill Maher? And it's not based on anything that they heard him once in the 2000s, and now they go, send me proof of this, which is typical trolls.
Yeah.
The trolls. Don't fall for that one, folks. Oh, here's the thing where he uses the N-word. No, he was saying the N-word was bad, or whatever the thing is. They're always, don't get in an argument. I don't know what I'm saying, but you know what I mean. You know what I'm talking about, right?
I do.
Where I'm going with it.
People are idiots is your basic thing.
Yes, but what do you think about this?
Okay.
I'll give you a club random problem that happened recently. You can weigh in. Everybody's weighed in already on it.
All right.
Steve-O wanted to go on Club. I have never watched Club Random. It looks so horrible. It looks horribly lit, and it just looks like you're watching an addict, a crack addict, do crack while you're trying to tell a story. Okay. Have you watched it?
I've seen bits
here
of it.
And there.
Yeah.
So Steve-O says, look, I've been 16 years sober. They invited him on the Club Random, right? It's not like he said, I got to get on that
and
Club
he said,
Random.
If Bill doesn't smoke pot, I'll come on. And Bill said, no.
Bullshit.
Deal breaker.
And that makes, so Bill's going, fuck you. I'm a freedom guy. Yeah, that's right. I told the guy, and you know what he did? Yeah, I told the guy who has actual drug problems and would rather not have drugs around him. I told him, no way, Jose.
All right.
Too bad. Take a hike, Steve-O.
All right.
It's really terrible behavior, and I'd like to speak to the booking person. Who else? I wanted. There's a couple people that are going crazy now. Bill Maher. Who was the other one that was? I've been focusing my anger at. I don't know. Just trying to warm up. Because Bruce told me, he came to see me last week. He goes, you got to hit a couple of people. Oh, I have my BJ Novak. Oh, did you know? And I was going to send this to you, but I thought this would be bad.
Yeah.
Someone at Crack Magazine wrote, I was very angry last week, and I said, here's the joke with the BJ Novak. I said, BJ Novak, I don't personally like BJ Novak, but you have to separate the art from the artist. Yes, his last movie, Vengeance, was unwatchable, but also he's an insufferable narcissist. So you see what I did there, right?
Sure.
You saw what I did, right? People were getting so angry at me, and I was doing, this guy from Cracked collected all of my slams from the last 2 or 3 weeks. It makes it, and he's called me acerbic. It makes it sound like I'm not an angry guy who's jealous of everyone else's success. It sounds like I'm a what do they call him? I'm an outsider. I'm a troublemaker. I'm a disruptor, and I'm in there telling BJ Novak because he's the man or something, right? So it was amazing because I felt the heat of people, because it's not. I know that you're not supposed to respond to people, but they're just people who just were, why are you, why would you ever make fun of? Here's what they believe: if you make fun of someone, it's because they make more money than you.
Right.
That's what it's all based on.
Sure.
So, but so it was.
It's hard with you because you do mix jealousy in with a lot of your anger.
There's no question. In fact, Josh, it's become very difficult for me to get that. I haven't been able to figure out how to get that thing to work that you said, because I have to get the wording down pretty exactly, because there's the wording of this, like, that you sent me this little clip of me saying, don't think because of that. And well, people can hear it today, right?
Yeah, it'll be on this.
Oh, that's so exciting. What did I say? I said
it was something like, people think that just because I get extra angry at things and don't let go of it, that I hold grudges or something like that.
Right, so something like, and because it doesn't seem to lessen.
Right, exactly. Yeah, right. It was perfect Kindler phrasing. That's why I captured it and sent it to you. Yes,
and I've been doing, I've been listening to you. I want to tell you people, if you're going to do something like plan to do an album that you shouldn't do that quickly, you really need someone like Josh Elvis Weinstein in your life, because he talks me down. He's like, he didn't put me down. He just said, no, we're going to just try and have fun over there in Austin, right? And Oh, here's what I was going to tell you. I watched the Masters all the way through, almost every day, all the way through.
You did tell me that already.
You didn't, though, right? It's not your thing.
I watched a little bit of Tigers. They do like on ESPN Plus. They have featured foursomes where you can just follow someone around. So I watched Tiger for a while.
I didn't even know they have that. That's pretty cool.
But no, I didn't. I mean, I checked in with it occasionally. I don't hate golf, but I don't care very much.
Well, but not only do you,
but I just like that the main thing about watching golf is just there's an occasion. Oh, so close.
I hated it when I was a kid. I thought it was going to drive me crazy because my father watched it all the time. I literally hated it, and now I find it very calming.
My dad watched it a lot, but my dad was a golfer too. But
right, but my dad wasn't a golfer, so he didn't have the same problem that you had with it, where you just got so frustrated with the sport.
But the thing about that the misconception I would say about golf coverage is that it's super boring. But in fact, there's so many people out on the course that they go from shot to shot to shot to shot to shot.
And that woman, Dorothy, she's great. I don't even. I'm only saying she's great because she sounds like she's great. I don't know half of what she's saying. She goes, "No, he's got to come from the dog leg up from the thing, and he should have kept it going." And then there's these guys who are always like, "Oh, they're almost. They don't do this, but it's almost like, not quite. It's almost you're in the booth. You know what you should hit. Oh, he didn't do that. He was supposed to avoid the left side.
Yeah.
He did anything but avoid the left side. And they make it seem like he's not thinking clearly.
Right. Right, exactly.
As opposed to no matter what
so
you
fucking
do,
hard, yeah.
Hard. Yeah, it's very. What was the hardest part of the game for you?
Mostly, I think consistent driving was my biggest thing. I couldn't nail it down, and I would overcorrect, and I just sprayed a lot of drives.
But I would also think putting would drive you up the wall too, because you think, this is simple. I can do this.
No, I was a decent. I mean, I was
a miniature golfer, so I thought I could do that.
Yeah, very different. But it's the putting I was pretty good at, actually. I mean, not good like a golfer good, but that was never the problem.
Wouldn't that be terrible if you were talking to me and I kept saying, "Oh, really? Were you good? Well, were you a scratch golfer?" And I wouldn't take anything less than if you're not a scratch golfer. Why are you even talking? But did you have a handicap? Yes, I didn't understand the game well. How many versions of that joke?
No, I didn't play serious enough to have an official handicap or anything.
But like Raymond loved it.
But I would break 100. 50, I would hover around 100 for the most part.
Right. And Raymond...
Occasionally I'd go into the 80s. Occasionally I'd go into the 110s.
If Ray had an 18... What would that put him? He had an 18-stroke handicap, whatever you call it.
That would mean he shoots about a 90. If it's a par 72, he averages about a 90.
Right.
That's a stroke a hole, basically.
And he can, and on his best days, he gets that. And that's supposed to be not a bad handicap.
No, that's good. Most golfers can't break 100. And I could only do it when I was playing a lot.
But here's the thing that Susan pointed out to me is I don't even know how to take a shot. And no one's ever tried to show me except on Raymond, the set of Raymond. And I don't know how it looked because they cut that episode. There's
absolutely no reason for you to go there.
No, I won't. Yeah. It's not something I'm going to do in the future. But I don't even think I understand.
I mean, this is how if you look at it, it's like I don't play golf because of how horrible I am to myself. Now imagine you.
Well, here's the thing. I would love when you see a beautiful golf swing, it looks beautiful, and you go, look at all the power. But I still thinking of it like you're hitting a home run, and you can't hit it that way. Like I would think, I would love to, like when I got into a batting cage. I love that feeling of being able to apply the pressure. But that's completely has nothing to do with golf. You could learn to have a hit. You could spend 35 years in the batting cages, and you would come out and still. And that's how Charles Barkley still kind of drives.
No, he got better.
Oh, he did get better?
Yeah. He doesn't have that crazy hitch thing anymore.
Well, it's so funny because I was like, he never got better. But he's Charles Barkley. He was a great athlete.
Yeah.
So you could see how they could get better.
Yes, and you also, but it's also a great example of how fucked up and hard the game is. If a professional athlete could look like that big a clown doing it.
But you also can't say this, that golfers could have played any sport. Like that guy could have been in any sport.
No. No, very rarely.
Very rarely, but it's similar to pool to me, I think, right? It's similar to pool.
No, it's a lot more athletic than pool.
That's right.
You do really have to train your body to be able to do very precise things in golf.
But this guy
to train. In pool, you have to do very precise things, but there's no real athleticism to it.
Right, but this guy was like standing backwards between him and the putt, and I don't know what he was doing. He did it a few times, and he's like, he's doing a thing. He's like famous for doing a thing. He stands, he looks under his legs. He stands again. He looks, I don't know if he's smoothing out the grass, but then the other guy in the booth said, I mostly used my eyes. I didn't do any of that.
Yeah.
Not everybody does, puts their finger up and does, but some people do a weird thing.
Yeah.
Or it's not weird. They get down to the level of and I never can understand the breaking. I never understand what's happening.
Well, and you can't see it on TV.
That's right. Yeah.
There's just a lot of things about a golf course that don't play on TV. Like the steepness of hills doesn't play, and the and the undulation of a green doesn't really play.
And also the long, like Susan was pointing out, with the long lenses, everything looks much closer. They're not that close to it,
right?
And in fact, they had this drive where if it was me doing it, I would hit these people because I wouldn't be able to get a drive out. Everybody's drove over them, but I was like, there's got to be one or two people who are just having a bad day and just cream those people.
Yeah, well, that's why people go 4. That's built into the game. But you're pretty aware that there's balls around. I mean, people get beamed at all the time. Every tournament, people get hit by a golf ball. It's not like an uncommon thing. I love it.
And that's why it's a lot of fun to see when it's a really important shot, and there are people like walking with hot dogs on top of the ball, because it went off the thing, and you see these people with the drinks and the beer and hopping over it.
Right.
But I used to think that you could get when I was a little kid, I used to think you can get in the water. This is in my mind. You could get in the water if you could find the ball. They would allow you to take it.
You can try to take the shot, but you're going to fuck yourself generally.
I know.
Unless it's super, super shallow in water,
which I've never seen.
It's not going to actually come out of the water when you strike it.
But the sand trap, sometimes they get a good lie. Oh, his ball sat up. His ball sat up. Absolutely, it's sat up. And that means you didn't get. I know you know what it means, but you're a player. Okay, don't. I'm not going to drive you crazy, but you use an iron when you drive, right?
No, you use a driver when you drive.
Well, how come they were saying he's using a 7-iron?
Because
for a drive.
Well, if it was a par 3 hole, they would use an iron.
Oh, okay. It's a par 3 hole.
Yes.
But the first one is a wood. First,
yeah.
And that's now. I am. I'm very good at physics, so I can understand the large wooden, and you hit it. And why is it better with a wood? Oh, I know why. If you hit something with metal, it's not going to go as far. Is that true?
No, because most woods are actually metal. All woods are metal.
Shut up! Wait, they're not even wood. Why'd you call them wood?
Because they were wood. They were wood.
Oh, okay. So everything's iron now. I have to get that.
It's not iron. No, it's not iron.
It's not iron. That's very heavy, right?
Yes.
Are you saying
irons aren't iron even?
Well, I don't understand how that works, but it's called what's it called when you combine two metals?
An alloy. An alloy.
They thought there would be
alchemy. Alchemy
right?
is when you make it gold.
Do you know that I toured briefly as Alchemy? No, that's not good.
No.
But I got big laughs this week with Antichrist. I toured as Antichrist for a couple of years. I have a lot of good go-tos. I'm not nervous anymore. I have to say this one thing, and I know you said I've been in theater for a million years. When's it going to end? That's not what you said.
More importantly, you've been in comedy even longer.
No, this is the first time ever I'm leaving Wednesday, and I'm ready to go. And I was able, for some reason, I kept associating Montreal feelings with the first trip I was going to do because it's a festival, but that's not what it's going to be like. I don't have anything to do. I have nothing to write. I don't have a speech.
Right. And it's not an industry audience.
It's not an industry audience.
That was the stress, was that it was all comics in the audience.
You remember the times when I called you? I'm sure you remember where I go, I was really upset. I just can't.
I do remember, yes.
Don't give me that face. Don't give me the pancake face. Don't give me the pancake face, buddy boy. Why did I say buddy boy? I don't like that.
I don't either. It conveys the opposite of what it's saying.
Well, it's the way my parents were like, look at. This is the way parents were, if not my parents. Look at Buster Brown. Look at. Butter wouldn't melt in his mouth. Look at. You're aggravating the life out of me. My mother would say that to me every day. You're aggravating the life out of me. And I thought everyone talked that way.
Yeah, they did.
No. Did you ever hear that? Butter wouldn't melt in his mouth? It's actually a pretty good saying because they're like talking around it. We've gone over this before. Butter wouldn't melt in his mouth.
I thought it's because they were so cool.
Probably what it is. Most of the time, remember the time that I discovered how they named the Beatles and it was such a fucking revelation?
Yes.
I love the way I couch it this way. He goes, I know that I'm not the first person who's understood. I know it. But I was thinking Beatles. Beat. Yeah, Andy, that's why when they were the Silver Beatles, it was a horrible name. It was a horrible, horrible name. If they remained the Silver Beatles, they wouldn't be the Beatles today.
That's true.
It really is. I don't know if it's true. But here's the point I'm trying to make with you.
Yes.
I knew we were going to only have one day this week. So what I said to myself was...
Pace yourself, Kindler.
No, that's not what I said. I said this. I'm not pulling my usual stunts with him, pretending I don't know where I am. Not pretending I don't hear you when you say things. Right. Pretending I forget things. I know we have one shot at the apple, and I'm telling you right now, this would be a day I would be upset if you went, uh-oh. Look right now and see if it's uh-oh. No, I would never get upset with you because I think that's one of my greatest, like Ralph Nader says, I'm not a narcissist because I wear cheap suits and I wait at the banquet line. I will not cut the line. Steve Scorvan argued with me, that doesn't make him a narcissist. It's like bullshit. He's telling you I'm the guy who never spends money on suits. I'm the guy who lets everybody else eat before me.
Right.
And that's not an example of no narcissism. That's an example of studied. He goes, I don't believe in spending money on suits.
Right.
So you believe.
So I make a show of not.
Right. So I literally looked. Okay. So in other words, how about when you ran for president? Would you have a nice suit? No, because I wasn't trying to win the presidency, obviously, and look presentable. Like anybody who would wear a suit. I don't care who you are, Ralph Nader, boo. You can't just go, oh, you have to have it fit. And you have to make it, and that's not even
not me.
Both.
I am unstylish at any speed.
See, you claim I don't listen. You claim I don't hear. Unsafe at Any Speed was the book that Ralph Nader wrote, and I was, because I'm always on it. I'm not doing my character today. I'm not doing my dumb guy character.
No, but you did. I did see a decision being made that I'm going to consider what Josh just said instead of moving on right there, and then you laughed. There was a beat.
Because, no. I'm a very troubled man. I'm a very, very troubled man. And
you literally chewed your food right there. That was the epitome of chewing your food.
But I know you were gaslighting. See, people say, why were you so upset a couple of months back? He's fucking gaslighting me with these letters. First of all, he would read the letter and go, what do you mean? What do you mean? He would gaslight me. That's as far as I can go with it because I have no specifics.
That's it.
I'm up to. I know what that expression means now.
Gaslighting.
So it's pretty cool.
That's good.
Yeah, and I've seen the movie. The movie's great. I know you've seen it too.
I've seen it as well.
Because she's like this. What are you doing, Horace? Horace? What are you worried about, my dear?
Cuckoo. He kept doing.
Hey! The lights are down. Excuse me, my dear. They are not down. I'm so surprised I haven't gotten classic acting roles and things.
It really is a surprise. It's a great injustice.
It or the bay. I think at this point you could hang up on me, but you shouldn't because here's the thing: you want some padding around this when you're editing later on in the week.
Exactly.
I don't want you to call me up and go, oh,
I'm down to 15 minutes. Could you give me a little something more?
Yeah, and people don't realize this. When I used to go on the road, he would force me to write a script tell them the truth.
Yes.
A conversation, a fake script.
Right.
And it's so that I wasn't just off the top of my head. So I go, how are you doing? I got here yesterday. I just realized that one of those stories that made me feel as if I was the worst person in the world when I complained about DoorDash. I can't. You're supposed to be able to look back at old situations in therapy and love yourself. I can't love myself. They didn't put the goddamn, I ordered the food. They just left it. Andy, DoorDash is not your friend. Isn't that? I mean, it's like I was trying to present DoorDash as my friend and
who betrayed you. Yeah.
And I was just saying to you, I remember, Josh, I'm just asking you human to human. Why wouldn't they knock on my door? Andy, just shut the fuck up with that. You're lucky. And here was the problem. The problem was, it was my favorite pizza.
Yeah.
It was, what's it called again? Twisted
I don't know.
Pizza? No, spaghetti pizza. Deep fried pizza. Those nice people gave me a shirt with it on there. Deep flour pizza.
Oh, right.
Yeah. And that's the greatest. To me, that is the greatest pizza I've ever had because I've had it.
Black Sheep?
Right there. Black Sheep.
Yes.
I've had it and it's been hot. And there's no way you can duplicate that feeling of when it's right there hot, whether it's in New York or whatever it is. And I was there and I just a regular margarita and I was like in heaven. And I would go back there every single day because I'm not a particularly interesting person.
Uh-huh. As this story has borne out.
Oh, Josh.
Oh, Andy.
Did you ever think that maybe the problem is with you?
No, I know it is. It is.
Okay, good. What is it exactly?
My inability to just speak up.
Right. And here's the thing.
To protect myself, to create boundaries.
Yes. And so why don't you look at your own thing? Instead of throwing everything back at me, why don't you think that maybe I don't listen because you're not saying anything interesting?
It's very possible.
But I'm not going to hang up on myself today because I feel like you have to decide who's had the padding. Oh, how about this? You want this wild lines? Hey, folks. Hi, I'm Andy Kindler. I'm in Austin, Texas, but please feel free to buy us a cup of coffee. I'll see you next week back live. What? It doesn't make sense.
Why would I want that?
Because this will be next week when I'm back. I've never understood the simplest.
You're trying.
I'm trying, but I'm afraid.
He's trying to hang up. He has the face, but he just didn't have the will.
He's
got the face, but not the will. And now he's got the face and the will.
I have the whole fucking comedy world in my hands, baby. You want a piece?